been obviously a tough loss today. You must be pretty disappointed with how they just got on top in that second and final quarter.
Yeah, I mean, we were really uncompetitive really after halfway through the second quarter. But the Tigers' credit, they completely outplayed us and they won us all over the ground. So we can't, our effort was poor, but I think they were still really good.
Can you take some positives out of the first and third quarter? You obviously won those quarters.
As a general, for the whole group, I suppose, the only two positives I thought, Junior Williams' job on groups was quite good. Mac Evans showed some really good signs going forward, but apart from that, there's not too many positives we can take away from today.
I guess touching on Mac Evans, I thought that some of your young players, also Tom Rees, really showed a bit for you guys today, considering the tough conditions today.
Yeah, it was tough. As I said, I think Mac showed some really good signs. Tommy did in patches, but to be honest, there's not many positives we can take out of today.
I guess it must be a bit disappointing, obviously, coming off last week, a great win, that you started the game well but weren't able to carry it through after quarter time.
Yeah, that was disappointing. I mean, I think as a coaching group we spoke to the players about, they went backwards in a learning sense, things we've been really placing huge emphasis on the last sort of 6 weeks, which the boys have been slowly improving with, just in the way the game's played, where the ball is in certain situations, how to best manage where the ball is, and not giving the ball back to the opposition. We gave it back to them far too often, especially in that second quarter. I think they kicked 6 goals after the 15-minute mark, and end of the day, that was the game.
I heard you at 3/4 time saying that you just really wanted to get something out of that final quarter. You must have been disappointed when they were just able to really get on top and stretch their lead.
Yeah, I mean, it was disappointing, but it was a reflection of their dominance. I thought, even in the first quarter, that win was quite strong, and it was only 3 goals apiece. So, that, as I said, they were clearly the better side, and they had winners all over the ground.
I guess it must have been pretty tough tackling their forward line today. They have a lot of tall guys, and then they really started to get going in that second term.
Yeah, I don't watch the Tigers every week, obviously, but I think Mickey Paul's probably played his best game. He was just marking everything. Gardner took marks forward, Carter took marks forward in the second quarter, so they had a lot of winners up forward, but as I said, the supply, they were slingshotting off half back, and it's pretty hard when you're isolated one-on-one with no pressure, so but to the Tigers' credit, they finished off their work really well.
I guess is this a bit of a tougher loss to take, considering that the Tigers and North Hobart are developing a bit of a rivalry at the moment?
Yeah, to be honest, if we had played like the way we played today, it wouldn't have mattered who we played. You still walk away very disappointed. Yeah, there is a rivalry, but they were clearly the better side of the day, and it shows why they're in the finals, and we've only won 2 games.
I guess you have the bye coming up. Do you think that could be a good opportunity for the boys to have a bit of a break and to refocus?
Yeah, obviously we've only got there's only 3 weeks of the season left, so we're going to have a pretty ruthless education session on Tuesday, just to, make the boys understand that you can't just play really well one week and then go back into some of your old habits the week later. So that'll enable us to do that on Tuesday night this week, and then we've got 10, 11 days after that to really prepare ourselves to play North Lonnie up there in a couple of weeks' time. So it's going to be a massive challenge. They've been a yardstick of the competition for many years. So we'll go up there. We should have our Devils players available. Structurally, we won't be sure how many we'll bring in, but whatever happens in whatever the 22 we put out there in 2 weeks' time, we'll be hoping for a greater effort than we got today.
Oh, Trent, a great win today. You must be really pleased with the boys, especially with their second and fourth quarter.
Yeah, I thought our effort was really good and it was high all day. And the third quarter in particular, when they came out with the breeze and we were able to halve that quarter, we kept our tackle pressure, we won some territory, and I thought it was a really mature game from our guys today. There were the periods we had to shut down, we shut down, and then when we could feel dominance, we were able to capitalise on that as well. Our forward line were great. They kicked straight and they provided a real presence. So I think it was a real mature and professional performance by our guys today, and a real good step in the right direction.
You must be really pleased after quarter time that not only were you able to establish a lead, but going into the fourth quarter, you were just really able to stretch your muscles and come away with a big win.
Yeah, that's the important thing. When you've got a developing group and, guys learning to play together, it would have been easy to potentially go in that last quarter, go goal for goal and end up with a 3 or 4 goal win and, move on. But it was pleasing that we were able to play the game out and put that on the scoreboard as well as, a little reward for effort for the way that we played in the first 3 quarters. And like I said, that's that maturity and the growth in the group that, we've got that chance and we can be a little bit ruthless and we know that we can do it now. And so that was a real pleasing aspect of today's performance.
I think that would have to have been Mickey Pole's best game for the club. He's just clunking everything that came in his direction and finished off with a handful of goals.
Yeah, he had, I think it was 10 marks, 5 goals, 2. We've seen glimpses of it at training in the last couple of weeks. Obviously for Mick, he's been frustrated not being able to get continuity in his football. But, he's had a full 2 weeks on the track. We saw some glimpses of it last week early. I thought his first quarter was really good, but obviously, the petrol tickets ran out pretty quickly. But today, that's just what Mick can do. It's what we know he can bring. And, he's a genuine target forward and, he's got that potential to be a match winner for you. So it was great to see him catch it, but also great to see him put it on the scoreboard too with those 5 goals.
Also, your other tallest up forward did really well. Tyler Carter 2 goals in the second quarter, and then Gardner went forward in the last and kicked through.
Yeah, we experimented with Gardner forward last week a little bit in the third quarter, and it was when we made our run against Lauderdale, and Cuss kicked a couple goals there. So he's a very accurate shot for goal, Marcus. And he does take a good mark. If you can put it on top of his head, he'll win his one-on-ones. Him and Tyler are very similar in terms of, they're a good deep target. If you can get the deep ball into them, they're generally going to win more one-on-ones than they lose. So, it's really good to add that string to Marcus's game. And Huey Johnson was outstanding in the ruck today. So those as a combo in the ruck. But then if Marcus can sneak forward some weeks and kick a couple goals for us, it only makes us even more dangerous.
You must be really pleased with the performance of your backline, especially with Colin Gartman up there, probably one of the more intimidating tasks in the comp at the moment. You were really able to restrict his influence on the game. Yeah,
Will Poland was great on him. Will's, he's a really good defender, and he's one that, when we play a match sim, he plays on Mick Paul, and, he does a great job on Mick. So Will was great in that matchup. I thought Ben Graham was pretty good on Tom Reeves. Tom Reeves is a pretty good player. He's very busy and uses the ball well and often hits the scoreboard. So I thought he had a pivotal role for us on Tomo. And I thought Jared Drew gave us some great drive, particularly in the second quarter when he came through the corridor and, had a couple really deep inside 50s for us. And, Drew is pretty tough and he wins his one-on-ones too. So, it's a really good line, our back line. We like the way they're coming together, and MD and Sammy Rice there. We've got some experience back there too, and they were pretty steady all day.
Kieran Lovell was great again today, and it must have been pretty exciting watching him go up against Sam Daly, one of the other better players in the competition.
Yeah, Kieran had a lot of the ball, as he always does. I thought Kieran was probably the leader there in terms of possession, but I thought our midfield as a collective were a really tight group today. Sammy Dygan came up there, he normally plays a forward role for us, but he came and played inside for the majority of the day. Rhino Matthews was great as well, and young Alex Bessel, we wanted to expose him a lot through the midfield today too, and I think his pressure was really good too. So I think as a collective, I think they should be really happy with their efforts today, and they wanted to respond as well. They feel like they were pretty poor last week against Lauderdale, so it's a good sign of their growth as a line that they were able to respond and have a really solid collective performance today.
Looked like a player got injured sometime during the third quarter. Was that Lockie Clifford who went off the ground?
No, Lockie Clifford went out today. He's got a issue with his hand at the moment, which he did at training on Thursday night. So Cliff, hopefully he may be all right for next week, if not the week after. I think there were just a couple bumps and bruises. Once Tyler Carter had a little bit of a stinger on his AC joint, which seems okay. I think Sammy Rice might have got one as well. So just no major injuries, just a couple of the usual bumps and bruises of a pretty physical contested game, which today was.
Obviously a big task next week going up to KG5 to play Glenorchy. You must be looking forward to taking them on, especially when you came close to beating them here early in the year.
Yeah, that's it, and that's what we'll take a lot of learnings out of that game. We'll jump straight into Glenorchy on Monday night. we won't review this game too much. We'll look at some of the key numbers, but we'll heavily start to look at our last game against Glenorchy. So, we played them up at KG5 on Anzac Day. It was a bit of a windy day. It wasn't a real pretty game, but it was a great game of footy down here at the Twins last time. And, they were able to run over the top of us where we felt we played pretty well for the first 3 quarters, and then we let it drop away. So we're going to launch straight into that on Monday night and really look forward to the challenge, because Glenorchy are a tough season team. They've got, they're a finals team. They've got good players on every line. So we'll launch straight into that. Really look forward to the challenge. Enjoy tonight, or enjoy today tonight, and stick together as a group, and really look forward to going up to KG5 next week and seeing what we can do.
Obviously, only a few games left in the season. You must be really pleased to have some momentum after this win, and hopefully carry that into the last few games and also into finals as well.
Yeah, that's it. We've got a pretty tough run home. We've got Glenorchy out there, then Clarence, who got the win today, which was fantastic to see, and then Launceston up at Windsor Park. So it's a really tough run home, but that's good. We need challenges going into a final series. We know we're going to finish 5th. That's where we're going to finish, so we know we're going to play in a 1-game season in an elimination final. So we've got to build every week up to that challenge.